Match day, and it's a crucial one for West Ham as the Hammers host Brighton in the Premier League this evening. We're an hour and 15 minutes away from kickoff, and hallelujah, Callum Wilson starts for West Ham United. We have the lineup, and here it is up on the screen now. Areola in goal, a back four of Walker Peters, Todibo, Kilman, and Scarles keeps his spot in the side. A midfield three of Potts, Magassa, and Fernandez, which has been pretty reliable, and then a front three of Paqueta, Bowen, and number 9 Callum Wilson returns for West Ham United. Very good to see a striker on the pitch, and hopefully that will help us become somewhat fluent this evening, because boy, do we need it. Let's look at the subs bench. Hermerson, Somerville dropped. For Wilson, Mavropanos, Rodriguez, Souček, Earthy, Conte, Golombekis, and Mayers. So quite a lot of youth there, and not a lot of attacking threat, because I don't really think you could call Somerville an attacking threat anymore. But I suppose he is the only one there alongside Thomas Souček. But just to reiterate, that is West Ham United starting lineup this evening. I just didn't really know what to expect. That is very zoomed in. I didn't know what to expect, to be totally honest, because I think that Wolves and Forest are the two more important games, and he's decided to play Wilson tonight. Whether he thinks Wilson can also play Saturday and then probably forfeit Tuesday in terms of Wilson, I don't know. Whether he's not going to play Wolves, whether Nuno thinks he's got it in the bag for Saturday and we can't lose to Wolves, and he's going to play him on next Tuesday against Forest. I have not got a clue, but that is what we've gone for. I expected to see Wilson on Saturday. I didn't see him, but he is in the starting lineup today. Will he last a half? Will he last 60 minutes? Will he last 80 minutes? Will he last the full 90? Only time will tell. But I think it is a positive that Callum Wilson is back in amongst that West Ham starting lineup tonight. Kilman was a little bit better on Saturday, so I can sort of understand that. A couple of better blocks and a more productive performance from him. Todibo was looking rather commanding. There was nobody else in to come in to replace Scarles, so yet again the youngster has got to face the music this evening. Walker Peters seems steady and an ever-present when Wan-Bissaka's not around on that other side to Scarles. The midfield three seems pretty settled at the moment. Probably the only part of West Ham on the pitch and off the pitch which is settled is the midfield of Potts, Magassa, and Fernandez. They seem to be working well as a team, as a unit. It's just a shame that what's behind them and what's in front of them isn't functioning to its desired ability. Up front, need a performance from Bowen tonight massively. Jarrod Bowen needs to step up tonight. He's got Wilson up there with him, and Paqueta, well, it's a bit of a lost cause, isn't he? So it was probably a toss-up between Paqueta and Somerville, who got dropped today. And I think Nuno probably thought that the less collateral damage in terms of a player being upset would probably be Somerville. So Somerville was the one that has made way for Callum Wilson's return to the starting lineup. So yeah, I'm happy that Wilson's there. I think it gives us a better chance of beating Brighton. They haven't won in 5. We haven't won in about 15. No. But it's big pressure on everybody tonight for West Ham. This is a massive game. This is a second out of a massive 4-game period, and we need to win. We need to pick up points. All right, if we get a point tonight and we win our next 2 games, then I'd probably take that. But there's no guarantee we're going to win those next 2 games. So in the short term, this is a must-win tonight, just as Saturday was. This is yet again the second out of 4 must-win games for West Ham, and we need to take that mentality into it. And our opponents coming to the London Stadium are Brighton. We're going to have a little look at their team lineup very shortly. They've got a jazzy lineup graphic, which is coming up onto your screen now. Verbruggen in goal, Dunk is captain, Van Hecke, Minter, Welbeck, Milner, blimey, Kadioglu, Gomez, Ayari, Di Cupia, and Veltman. There's a few names that I'm unfamiliar with there, but the old Welbeck and Milner next to each other there, Premier League stalwarts. Danny Welbeck always likes to score a goal against West Ham, doesn't he? James Milner ever present in the Premier League midfield for what seems like an eternity, and he is in the heart of that Brighton midfield. Lewis Dunk, always a reliable player. On the bench, Steele, Gruder, Jorginho, Hinselwood, Watson, Kostoulis, Boss, Scagli, Mitoma, and Coppola. Yep, I haven't heard of any of them apart from Mitoma either. Obviously, he's a danger man and somebody that has caused us many a problem over the years. From Blown Bubbles, hope you're well. Please, Somerville was dropped. He has been terrible. He has been pretty poor. Yeah, as I said earlier, I think it was probably a toss-up between him and Paqueta because they've been equally as dire. So, yeah, I'm not surprised to see one of them dropped, and it is Somerville who has made way. So I've got no complaints with that, and I'd much prefer to see a striker in Callum Wilson be starting from the off tonight. But it's going to be interesting. It's going to be, it's going to tell us where we're at because they're a side that aren't in good form at all. They have not won in 5. They are very, very shaky. And I think that showed purely at the Amex. I mean, we played this team just 25 days ago, I think something like that, at the Amex. I was there. It was rather cold that day, and it was a game which we should have won. It was another game where we didn't hammer home our advantage, and we lost it. Well, no, we didn't lose it. We lost 2 points, and it's when we come back to it at the end of the season. If we do go down, it'll be a game where we look back and go, "That's a game we should have seen out and we should have won." Yeah, there was VAR controversy and the goal shouldn't have counted, but we sat back as soon as we scored, and it really irritated me. Nuno was very much at fault there. He chucked as many defenders on the pitch as he possibly could, and he invited pressure and invited pressure, and we folded in the end, and it was inevitable. We were quite lucky in the end not to concede another, but we went from a position of supreme control to nearly losing the game in a space of about 10 minutes. So let's not let that happen again today. They are beatable, as teams have shown in the last couple of months, and we nearly shown it just 3 weeks ago. We should have shown it, and they were very, very poor. So it was the worst Brighton side I've seen since they've come up into the Premier League. They've always seemingly had our number, especially down at the Amex. We've only beaten once in God knows how many times we've been down there in the last few years. Just that one isolated win in 2023, I think. Yeah, just after the Conference League win. That's the only time we've won down there in about 15 years, I think. So it's not normally a happy stomping ground, and we were that close to winning for the second time down there, but we couldn't hold on. We've got to be clinical tonight. We've got ourselves into good positions, and we keep coming away from games saying we played well, but we didn't get the result. This needs to stop. Right, this seriously needs to stop, because at the end of the season there isn't an asterisk next to our name and it says, well, in 15 games they played well but lost. Right, we need to start winning football matches, otherwise we will be in the Championship. I have got no qualms about that. That will happen, and I have got no doubt about it. So we need to stop this. We're playing well but we're losing. We need to play well and win. We need to play crap and win. I don't care how we play. We need to win, and we need to accumulate points. That's currently not what we're doing. We're having good spells and we're getting on top in games. We're not capitalising. And that is why we are where we are. 5 points adrift, 6 with the goal difference currently from Nottingham Forest, who we play a week today in another massive, massive game. It is a pivotal 7 days for West Ham. Brighton at home today, Wolves away Saturday, and Forest at home next Tuesday. I can't remember a bigger 7 days for West Ham. It just seems absolutely monumental that we pick up at least 7 points in these 3 games. We need to profit, because then all of a sudden we've played decent in these games, and if we pick up no points, we'll then go to the likes of Chelsea and Tottenham in January, and we will play poorly and we will get battered. All right, so we need to pick up points against the teams around us in these winnable games. 7 points is an absolute minimum from these 3 games, and we need to set the tone tonight under the lights against a beatable Brighton side. We need to start well. We need to score. We need to look a threat in front of goal, and hopefully that will happen with Callum Wilson. But it feels like sort of, Groundhog Day for West Ham. It feels like this is it. Like, we have had chances. We've had so many chances in games, and we're putting off and we're putting off. But at the end of the day, we've got to draw a line under it at some point. We've got to stand back and go, you know what? This is it. We simply have to win at least two of our next 3 games, and we cannot lose tonight. We cannot lose tonight. If we lose tonight, I will be coming on the review afterwards and saying we will get relegated. Right? It's just a complete non-negotiable. If we lose tonight after losing on Saturday, that is it. Curtains, call it a day. Start the car. Right? Just please, West Ham. Please, we need to manufacture chances and then take them at the end of the day. Just need to take them. Right, a few comments. Dalva, thank you very much indeed for joining us. Come on, you Irons. He's dropped Somerville instead of Paqueta. It's an interesting choice. What happens first? Paqueta goes down untouched, or Areola kicks out of play. That is two guaranteed moments in a West Ham game. Only means double pivot of Potts, Magassa, Fernandez left wing. Yeah, will he put Paqueta out on the left wing? I don't know. Paqueta just goes where he likes, doesn't he? So nobody really knows the formation or the structure or anything that's happening, to be totally honest. So yeah, I'm not entirely sure what's going to happen. At least we'll get to see some new grounds next season. We have a preview of next season in the Cup, QPR. Yeah, we'll also have a preview on Saturday because we'll be playing Wolves in the Championship next year. So that'll be another Championship preview coming our way this Saturday. Yeah, I think we'll play the under 20. I think we'll completely change it for the Cup game and chuck it, to be honest. We need 9 points. Yeah, I mean, seven as an absolute minimum. Obviously, 9 is perfect, and that's what we all really, really want. But just need to win. I've got nothing else to say. You know, we've gone are the days of let's try this or let's hope that this. I don't care how we perform. I don't care what happens. 3 points. Or a point, knowing that we're getting 6 points in the next 2 games. Obviously, that's impossible to predict or know because none of us are, what is it, like people that look into the future, like genies? Is that what they're called? I don't know, something like that. We are not future lookers. I know that's not the phrase, but that's what I'm going with. Somebody will help me out in the comments. But yeah, we just need to win, and I've got nothing more to say than that, and I'm not going to say any more than that because it is as simple as that for West Ham tonight. Start well, get the crowd up, give them something to shout about, be clinical in front of goal. You know, we had plenty of chances against Fulham on Saturday. Wilson tried a couple wide, Bowen had that flick that went just wide, Somerville had a shot, Potts had a shot, Magassa missed it, you know, as it was missed basically a tap in at the other end. So yeah. Oh, absolutely, Michael. West Ham way, we will give the Wolves their first 3 points. Absolutely. But with just over an hour to go until kickoff, let's do predictions. I was feeling confident, but now the more I'm talking about it, the more I'm feeling a little less confident. I'm going to stick with what I said on the preview. I think I said 2-1. So I'm going to go with that 2-1 West Ham and just hope that I don't know how it's going to happen. I don't know why it's going to happen. I just hope that it does happen at the end of the day. Put your thoughts into the comment section down below. Drop a like on the video and subscribe to West Ham Official if you are new. I'll be back on the full-time whistle, hopefully with no steam coming out of my ears and with a smile on my face because boy, do we need it, and a bit of positivity and a win. So let's hope the boys can go out there and deliver tonight, get those 3 points and gain us a bit of momentum going into Wolves and Forest in the next few days. Massive, massive times, important times for West Ham. So from me, come on, you Irons, and we will see you soon right here on West Ham Official. Thank you very much, and please, boys, do the business, put the ball in the back of the net, win the game, and I'll be happy. Let's have a Christmas miracle. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.